There comes a time in life when the mirror stops lying. You wake up, look at your reflection, and see not the person you were, but the person time has quietly shaped you into. The lines on your face tell stories of laughter and worry, of love and loss. But what most people never realize is that inside, your body is telling another story, one that's written not in wrinkles, but in blood flow, pressure, and silent damage. After 60, every bite you take becomes more than just food. It becomes a signal, either healing your body or pushing it closer to the edge. And yet millions of people right now are unknowingly eating the very vegetables that increase their risk of stroke, heart attack, and memory loss. It's not sugar, it's not fast food, it's not even processed snacks. It's something much quieter, much more deceptive, something that looks innocent, even healthy. Because we've been told since childhood, eat your vegetables, they're good for you. But what if that advice was never meant for a 60-year-old body? What if, after 60, your metabolism changes so drastically that some healthy vegetables start turning toxic inside you, fueling inflammation, raising blood pressure, and silently clogging the arteries that feed your heart and brain? Doctors rarely talk about it. Nutritionists argue about it. But new studies are painting a terrifying picture, and today we're breaking the silence. In this video, we'll uncover 4 vegetables you must stop eating immediately after 60, and 3 powerful ones you should eat more of to rebuild your strength, improve your circulation, and protect your brain. But first, let's talk about the truth no one wants to face. Because what kills most people over 60 isn't sudden, it's slow, it's quiet, it's invisible, and it starts in your blood vessels, the highways of your life. Picture this: your blood vessels, once wide and flexible like young rubber tubes, begin to stiffen. Tiny particles of calcium and cholesterol stick to the walls. Your blood thickens. The flow slows down, and somewhere deep inside, pressure begins to build. You don't feel it at first. Maybe you notice your hands feel colder. Maybe your vision blurs for a second when you stand up. Maybe you get tired faster than before. You shrug it off. But inside, your body is fighting a battle you can't see against something you're feeding every single day. And the worst part? Some of those weapons come straight from your plate. Let's start with the first one. A vegetable that hides behind the label of healthy, but can quietly raise your blood pressure like a ticking bomb. It's spinach. Yes, you heard that right. Spinach, the symbol of strength, the hero of every diet, the food that gave Popeye his muscles. But after 60, spinach can become dangerous, especially if you eat it daily. Here's why. Spinach is loaded with oxalates. Oxalates are natural compounds that plants use to protect themselves from insects and animals, but in humans, especially older adults, they bind with calcium inside your body, forming tiny crystals. Those crystals can build up in your kidneys, your arteries, even your joints. They increase the risk of kidney stones, inflammation, and, most dangerously, arterial calcification, a silent process that turns flexible blood vessels into rigid pipes. Imagine trying to pump blood through a metal straw instead of a soft tube. That's what happens inside the body of someone who eats high oxalate vegetables every day after 60, and it's not just spinach. Beets, Swiss chard, and even sweet potatoes can have the same effect when eaten too often. Now, does that mean you should never touch them again? Not necessarily. But if you're over 60, your kidneys aren't as efficient as they once were. That means oxalates can accumulate faster, and that's when trouble begins. You see, aging isn't just about wrinkles or grey hair. It's about how your organs slow down. Your liver, kidneys, heart, and digestive system all lose speed. What used to be healthy in your 30s can overload your system in your 60s. And here's the real twist. The vegetables that trigger inflammation and heart issues aren't always the ones you expect. Take eggplant, for example. Beautiful, purple, shiny, and packed with a group of chemicals called nightshades. These compounds can irritate the lining of your gut, causing mild inflammation that spreads through your bloodstream. If you suffer from arthritis, joint pain, or stiffness, eggplants might be silently making it worse. Same goes for tomatoes, peppers, and potatoes, other members of the nightshade family. They contain solanine, a compound that can interfere with nerve signaling and worsen pain in people with sensitive systems. Now imagine eating these every day for years. A little inflammation here, a little stiffness there. Over time, it's not just your joints that suffer. It's your blood vessels, your brain, your memory, because chronic inflammation doesn't stay local, it travels, and when it reaches
your arteries, it starts to scar them from the inside, just like rust eating away a metal pipe. The result? Slower circulation, higher blood pressure, and eventually stroke. Now, if spinach and eggplant are silent troublemakers, this next vegetable is a full-blown traitor. It hides behind the word comfort. People boil it, mash it, fry it, and serve it at family dinners thinking it's harmless. But for people over 60, it's a metabolic disaster. That vegetable is the potato. For decades, potatoes have been seen as the friendly face of home cooking. But what happens after 60 is that your body's insulin sensitivity drops. That means the same potato that once gave you steady energy now causes sharp spikes in blood sugar, followed by sudden crashes. Your pancreas has to work twice as hard to produce insulin. Your cells respond slower. And over time, this roller coaster creates the perfect breeding ground for diabetes, high blood pressure, and vascular damage. But that's not the end of the story. Potatoes also trigger a surge of glycation, a process where sugar molecules attach to proteins in your blood, turning them sticky and stiff. These sticky proteins cling to your artery walls, thickening them, reducing flexibility, and eventually leading to what doctors call atherosclerosis, the narrowing of blood vessels that feed your brain and heart. That's why so many strokes and heart attacks happen without warning. They're not caused overnight. They're the result of decades of damage, slowly building with every bite of comfort food. You might say, but I bake them, not fry them. It doesn't matter. Even boiled or baked, potatoes are still high in simple starches that turn into sugar the moment they hit your bloodstream. And once that sugar level spikes, your arteries tighten, your blood pressure rises, and your risk of stroke increases dramatically. Now, combine that with a plate of spinach sautéed in butter or olive oil, and suddenly, you have a toxic combo. Oxalates meeting sugar spikes, inflammation meeting stiffness. Your blood thickens, your vessels harden, your brain gets less oxygen. And the first sign might not be pain, it might be forgetfulness. That's how it starts for many people. They forget names, they misplace things, they think it's normal aging. But behind those small lapses is something much darker. Reduced blood flow to the brain caused by years of healthy eating gone wrong. And there's still another vegetable that takes this danger to the next level. It's not as common as potatoes, but it's loved by health enthusiasts who believe it cleanses the body. Ironically, it does the opposite. That vegetable is celery. Sounds shocking, right? Celery is seen as the ultimate diet food. Crunchy, low-calorie, refreshing. But few people know that celery is extremely high in sodium. Not the kind of sodium that comes from salt, but a natural form that still sweat, raises blood pressure, especially when your kidneys aren't filtering efficiently. For someone under 40, the body can easily flush it out. But after 60, when kidney function drops by up to 30%, that sodium begins to accumulate. It pulls water into your bloodstream, raises blood pressure, and puts strain on your heart. You might think you're eating light, but you're actually overloading your cardiovascular system. And when you add a bit of salt or dressing on top, the numbers spike even higher. Many people in their 60s and 70s wonder why their blood pressure medication suddenly stopped working. They blame stress, they blame age, but sometimes it's not stress, it's the celery in their salad. Now combine all three of these vegetables, spinach, potatoes, and celery, and you have a recipe for what doctors quietly call vascular aging. It's not a disease, it's a process, and once it starts, it's hard to stop. Your arteries lose elasticity, your blood can't move freely, your heart pumps harder and harder to compensate, and one day, something gives. Sometimes it's a small clot in the brain, sometimes it's a sudden weakness in the arm or leg, sometimes it's just a dizzy spell that passes until it doesn't. But here's the truth, none of this is inevitable. The body has an incredible ability to heal itself if you stop feeding it the wrong things. And that brings us to the other side of the story. The foods that can actually reverse the damage, restore circulation, and bring clarity back to your mind. Before we get there though, there's one more vegetable that's quietly wreaking havoc on millions of older adults. It's one that doctors rarely talk about because it doesn't seem harmful at all. But inside the body of someone over 60, it can disrupt hormones, raise cortisol, and thin the walls of your arteries. That vegetable is soy, soybeans, tofu, soy milk, all promoted as heart healthy. But what's of your... Most people don't realize is that soy contains phytoestrogens, plant compounds that mimic estrogen in the body. When you're young, your body can handle them. But after menopause or andropause, when your hormone balance becomes fragile, these compounds can confuse your system. They can cause water retention, mood swings, and even increase the stickiness of blood platelets, raising the risk of clot formation. Combine that with slower circulation, and you have the perfect storm. So if
you're over 60 and eating soy products daily, you might want to stop at least temporarily, because once the body is overloaded with these compounds, it struggles to regulate blood pressure and clotting effectively. But here's the good news. For every food that harms you, there's another that heals you. The key is knowing which ones still work with your body's chemistry after 60. The next part of this story is not about fear, it's about hope, because the same plate that can
kill, you can also save you.
It all depends on what you put on it. Now that we've uncovered the silent killers, the vegetables that slowly wear down your body, it's time to turn the table. Because after 60, it's not just about what to avoid, it's about what to embrace, what to eat that restores, protects, and rejuvenates. Let's start with a vegetable that has quietly been praised for decades, but for the right reasons this time. Number 1. Brussels sprouts. These tiny green orbs often get a bad rap. Kids hate them, adults tolerate them, but after 60, Brussels sprouts are a powerhouse. They're rich in sulforaphane, a compound that reduces inflammation, protects arteries, and even helps detoxify harmful compounds in your bloodstream. Imagine a tiny army patrolling your blood vessels, clearing debris, soothing inflammation, and strengthening the walls of your arteries. That's exactly what sulforaphane does. And here's the best part. Brussels sprouts also support the brain. They increase blood flow to neural tissue, improve oxygen delivery, and even stimulate neurogenesis, the creation of new brain cells. For seniors worried about memory loss, confusion, or slowing thinking, this is huge. But timing and preparation matter. Eat them steamed or lightly roasted, not fried. Pair with a touch of healthy fat like olive oil or avocado to boost absorption and avoid overloading your plate. A handful or two is enough to trigger the protective benefits without
stressing your digestive system.
Now, let's move on to another hero in the fight for your longevity. Number 2. Kale. Kale. The poster child of modern superfoods. But here's what most seniors don't know. Kale isn't just trendy, it's transformative. Packed with vitamin K, magnesium, and fiber, kale supports both bone health and vascular integrity. Your arteries after 60 are no longer flexible rubber tubes. They're more like garden hoses, left out in the sun for years. Kale helps prevent further stiffening. It provides antioxidants that repair damage caused by free radicals, reduces inflammation, and even lowers LDL, the bad cholesterol that narrows arteries. Pair kale with a protein source, eggs, fish, or beans, and you amplify its benefits. Mix it with fruits like berries or citrus to balance flavors and add extra antioxidants. Here's a story to illustrate its power. Margaret, 68, had been feeling foggy, forgetful, and fatigued. Her doctor warned her about pre-hypertension and early signs of cognitive decline. She began incorporating kale into her morning smoothies, paired with walnuts and blueberries. Within months, her energy improved, her blood pressure stabilized, and most importantly, she noticed clarity returning to her mind. Her small daily choice made a massive difference. And finally, the third hero, one of the most potent protectors of the aging brain. Number 3. Garlic. Yes, garlic, the pungent, bold, unmistakable flavor that's been celebrated for centuries. For seniors, garlic does more than fight infections or support the heart. It enhances circulation, reduces platelet stickiness, and protects against oxidative stress. Think of it as a shield for your arteries. The same arteries that could have been damaged by spinach, celery, or potatoes are strengthened, stabilized, and protected when garlic is consumed wisely. But here's the crucial catch: moderation and timing. A clove or two a day, preferably with meals, is sufficient. Avoid high-dose supplements unless cleared by your doctor, especially if you're on blood thinners. Cooked or raw, garlic is effective, but raw has the strongest protective effect. Combined, these 3 vegetables, Brussels sprouts, kale, and garlic, form a trinity of protection. They support brain function, reduce arterial damage, stabilize blood pressure, and help your body fight inflammation. And the beauty of it, they taste amazing when prepared well, turning every meal into a brain-boosting, heart-protecting experience. Now you might be thinking, that's great, but what about the vegetables I love, the ones that scare me? Here's the key principle: timing, pairing, and moderation. Timing: eat high-risk vegetables like spinach, potatoes, and celery earlier in the day. Pairing: combine them with healthy fats, proteins, or other protective foods to slow absorption and reduce spikes. Moderation: never overconsume one vegetable. Variety is your ally. By following these principles, you can turn your diet into a weapon against aging, rather than a silent threat. But let's go deeper, because it's not just about individual vegetables, it's about patterns, routines, and hidden combinations that could either protect or harm your brain. For example, one seemingly innocent habit is drinking coffee with a late-night potato snack. The caffeine elevates blood pressure. The potato spikes blood sugar. Combined, these can stress fragile blood vessels, increasing the risk of microstrokes, small clots that silently damage the brain over time. Or consider salads at dinner, loaded with spinach, celery, and eggplant. Even with light dressing, the oxalates, sodium, and nightshade compounds combine to quietly raise blood pressure and arterial stiffness while you sleep. The pattern emerges: it's not just what you eat, but when, how much, and with what else you eat it. And once you understand that, the solution becomes simple, yet powerful. Morning or midday greens, spinach, kale, or Brussels sprouts. Add healthy fats, olive oil, avocado, nuts. Include lean protein, eggs, fish, beans. Limit evening starches, potatoes, corn, sweet potatoes. Avoid heavy nighttime salads with high oxalate or nightshade vegetables. Hydrate consistently, especially if consuming diuretic vegetables like asparagus or celery. These small adjustments can reverse years of silent damage, protect your arteries, and keep your brain sharp for decades. Let's step into the real world, because nothing drives the point home like the lived experiences of seniors who've unknowingly walked the fine line between nourishment and risk. Meet Henry Lawson, 72, a retired retired engineer from Ohio. Henry prided himself on his vegetable intake. Every evening, a huge plate of spinach, broccoli, and potatoes. He believed he was doing everything right. Yet, one cold winter morning, his wife found him slumped on the couch, speech slurred, right arm weak. A silent stroke had struck while he slept. Doctors later explained the perfect storm: spinach oxalates binding with calcium supplements, blood sugar spikes from evening potatoes, broccoli consumed inconsistently with his blood thinner. Henry survived, but he never regained full independence. A man who had built bridges now struggled to cross the street without assistance. Then there's Clara Reynolds, 79, a retired schoolteacher. She loved her nightly salads, believing she was protecting her heart. But her mix included romaine lettuce, raw carrots, and asparagus, all diuretics at night. Her blood pressure fluctuated while she slept. One morning, dizziness led to a fall, a fractured hip, and months of rehabilitation. Her story reminds us, even the healthiest foods can become hazards without awareness of timing and combinations. Contrast that with Margaret Ellis, 67, who transformed her life. She incorporated Brussels sprouts, kale, and garlic into her morning and lunch meals. She paired them with protein and healthy fats. Even small daily adjustments, hydrating properly and limiting nighttime starches, reversed pre-hypertension and boosted her cognitive clarity. 6 months later, she reported, "I feel sharper than I did 10 years ago, and I have energy all day." The pattern is clear. The difference between risk and protection is strategy, not elimination. Let's break down common mistakes seniors make with vegetables. Evening overload. Heavy salads or starchy vegetables late at night lead to thickened blood pressure spikes, and microclots. Ignoring supplements, calcium, vitamin D, or blood thinners, interacting with high oxalate or vitamin K vegetables. Raw versus cooked confusion. Some vegetables like carrots and onions have stronger effects raw. Cooking can moderate these impacts. Dehydration blind spot. Aging reduces thirst perception. Diuretic vegetables like asparagus, celery, or romaine can quietly lower blood volume overnight. Inconsistency. Sudden changes in intake of broccoli, garlic, or spinach upset the delicate balance with medications. Now let's talk about how to fix these mistakes, turning everyday vegetables into allies instead of enemies. Step 1. Plan your meals by time of day. Morning: spinach, kale, Brussels sprouts, garlic. Supports brain function and detoxification. Afternoon lunch: balanced mix with moderate starch. Potatoes and corn are safest when paired with protein. Evening: light salads with safe greens. Avoid heavy starch or high oxalate nightshades. Step 2. Pair wisely. Fat slows sugar absorption. Add olive oil, avocado, or nuts. Protein balances blood sugar. Eggs, fish, beans. Hydrate with meals. Prevents thick blood and supports circulation. Step 3. Monitor your body. Morning fog, dizziness, fatigue, tingling. Don't ignore. Track blood pressure and blood sugar if possible. Consult your doctor before high-dose supplements or dramatic dietary changes. Step 4. Embrace variety. No single vegetable should dominate your diet. Rotate greens, root vegetables, and legumes for balanced nutrient intake. Respect seasonal and local produce. Natural cycles often align with your body's needs. Step 5. Small, consistent adjustments. Avoid extremes. Replace fear with awareness. Incremental changes build lasting protection for your brain and circulation. Here's another story to illustrate the power of incremental change. Leonard Hughes, 74, was on the verge of early cognitive decline. He had eaten nightly spinach salads with potatoes for years. After consulting a nutrition-savvy physician, he adjusted timing, paired vegetables with proteins, and added Brussels sprouts and kale in the morning. Within months, his memory sharpened, energy increased, and he avoided further vascular incidents. The lesson: knowledge plus action. Transformation. We're now seeing a pattern emerge. Vegetables once universally deemed safe can be dangerous after 60 without strategic timing and pairing. But the same vegetables combined correctly protect your brain, circulation, and independence. And here's the critical insight. This isn't about fear or restriction. It's about empowerment. You can continue enjoying the foods you love, spinach, potatoes, broccoli, but with new rules for an aging body. The key principles repeat like a mantra. Timing matters. Morning and lunch are safer than night for risky vegetables. Pair wisely. Proteins and fats modulate sugar, oxalates, and diuretics. Moderation rules. Avoid overloading any single food. Observe your body. Medications and supplements interact in subtle but profound ways. We've uncovered the silent threats, the hidden dangers of vegetables after 60, and the real-life stories that prove timing, pairing, and awareness can save lives. Now it's time to take action. Here's the ultimate guide to eating vegetables safely, smartly, and in a way that protects your brain, heart, and independence. Morning power. Start your day right. Goal: boost brain function, support circulation, and provide lasting energy. Spinach or kale, a handful in smoothies or lightly steamed, packed with magnesium, antioxidants, and anti-inflammatory compounds. Brussels sprouts, steam or roast. Sulforaphane supports detoxification and vascular health. Garlic, 1 clove in your breakfast or cooked into eggs, enhances circulation and fights oxidative stress. Pairing: add healthy fats, olive oil, avocado, nuts, and protein. Eggs, beans, fish. Hydration: start the day with a glass of water to support circulation. Example breakfast: spinach and kale smoothie with blueberries, walnuts, and a splash of almond milk. Lightly roasted Brussels sprouts on the side with a poached egg. 1 clove of garlic cooked into scrambled eggs. Lunch strategy: maintain balance. Goal: keep blood sugar steady, provide antioxidants, and prepare for a stable afternoon. Leafy greens: romaine, arugula, or mixed salad. Keep oxalates moderate. Vegetables like carrots and broccoli. Pair with protein to reduce sugar spikes. Avoid heavy starches late. Sweet potatoes or corn are safest if consumed midday. Hydrate: Drink water alongside your meal to prevent daytime dehydration. Example, lunch, large salad with arugula, chopped carrots, grilled chicken and olive oil dressing, side of lightly steamed broccoli or roasted sweet potato cubes. Optional small garlic infusion in dressing for flavor and vascular protection. Evening awareness. Eat light, eat smart. Goal: protect circulation and avoid overnight risks. Avoid high oxalate greens like spinach, celery or kale. Limit nightshades like tomatoes, eggplants and potatoes. Diuretic vegetables, asparagus, romaine, should be minimal or paired with hydration. Focus on low-risk, easily digestible vegetables, cucumbers, zucchini, steamed green beans or bell peppers in moderation. Example dinner: steamed zucchini and green beans with olive oil. Light protein such as fish or tofu. Optional small salad of cucumbers and lettuce with moderate dressing. Snack smart. Protect blood sugar. Avoid raw carrots or high-sugar vegetables at night. Daytime snacks are safer. Handful of nuts with raw bell peppers. Apple slices with almond butter. Greek yogurt with cucumber sticks. Daily guidelines: timing, pairing and moderation. Timing: morning greens, midday starches, evening light vegetables. Pairing: healthy fats and proteins, slow absorption of sugar and oxalates. Moderation: no single vegetable dominates your diet. Rotate for nutrient variety. Hydration: essential to prevent thickened blood and clots. Observation: track dizziness, morning confusion or fatigue. They are signals, not nuisances. Doctor collaboration: review supplements and medications for interactions with vegetables. Vegetables are not villains. Aging changes the rules. Timing, pairing and moderation transform risk into protection. Awareness and small daily adjustments can prevent silent strokes, maintain cognitive function and protect circulation. Knowledge, action, independence, clarity and longevity. Remember Henry, Clara and Leonard. Their stories show the consequences of ignorance and the power of strategic eating. Your body after 60 deserves respect and intelligent planning. Vegetables are your allies when treated with wisdom. So start today. Adjust timing of risky vegetables. Pair with fats and protein. Hydrate, monitor and consult your doctor. Do this and you'll not just add years to your life, but life to your years. Your brain, heart and independence will thank you. Final thought: at Ageless Vitality, we believe in thriving, not just surviving. Aging doesn't mean decline. It means mastery over your body, knowledge-driven choices and sustainable health. Your plate today determines your strength, clarity and independence tomorrow. Respect the rules, honor your body, and the vegetables you eat will serve you, not sabotage you.